I'm going to be showing you what I'm putting in the freeze dryer for the next cycle. I have some weird things that I wanted to try out too. Stick around to the end to see how those turn out. Now with the Vitamix, the reason I chose to put it in there and blend it up is because it gets rid of all the seeds. It just basically purees the seeds. And then I chop up, after that cooks down a bit, I chop up some actual strawberries and put them in there and cook it down some more in the pan. And then I add a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it up. So we're just gonna dump these in here. I like the cute little animals, so I usually start there. Some strawberry chunks in there, I guess.
Why?
Because I'm making baby bites.
Why?
You want some baby bites?
Yeah, I love baby bites.
I love baby bites. It's just straight up water, pureed strawberries, a little bit of sugar. These are little chocolate molds. Can send you I'll put a link to the ones I got in the description. These are the baby bites that I created from the strawberry syrup that we made for our waffles. And I just put them into little candy molds. I'm adding them to this tray, and if I didn't have this tray already set up, I would put them in a Ziploc bag until I was ready to freeze dry them. But I already have this one set up with a little bit of spaghetti there at the end. You can see there. And the goal is to get these out as quickly as possible and hurry up and get them in the freezer before they get sticky and start to melt. Especially if you're putting them in a Ziploc bag, because you do not want them to melt together. And I try to put them all face up because sometimes I do have to scrape the bottom of the pan to get them off of there, and I don't necessarily want to scrape up their little noses. Okay, so that's that. We're going to go ahead and cover that back up and put it back in the freezer until we're ready to freeze dry everything. I've got to freeze some more stuff. When you take the baby bites out of here, or you take them out of your Ziploc bag, whatever you're storing them in, you need to go ahead and have the tray frozen if at all possible, so that you can make sure that the items stay frozen and doesn't melt before you freeze dry it. Otherwise it's going to lose its shape and just be freeze dried, melty looking. I'm sure that's a real term. I have added strawberries, blueberries, 2 frozen bananas, and half of this carton of vanilla yogurt. We're going to puree that and make them into frozen baby bites, and then we will freeze dry them for some freeze dried treats for the kids. After I make my smoothies, I like to put them in these glass jars just to save it. I don't like storing my stuff in plastic if at all possible. And this is already cold, so I think it's pouring a little slow. You don't have to go through all this effort. I think if you just poured it out in the tray and smoothed it out, you'd probably be fine. You could just break them off into little chunks, which is one of the things I wanted to try. All right, we're gonna get rid of one of these, and we are going to, it's okay if there's water on here because it's going to all go away when we freeze dry it. So on this batch, I wanted to see if I could get the bottom to be smoothed out with the extra. So I'm just gonna dump it over here and see if we can make a normal smoothie and just break it up after the fact. Let's smooth that out a little bit. This one is 2 bananas, a box of strawberries with the tops, some blueberries, about half a tub of vanilla yogurt, and about 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. Oh, this makes me nervous because we have to put it in the garage freezer, and it's such a mess out here. I'm afraid that the yogurt or the smoothie that I put on this side is going to shift, but it's what we got. So there it is, ready to be frozen. We'll see how it turns out. I am doing an experiment with some leftover sweet potato. We have some baked sweet potato, and I added some cinnamon and sugar to it. I wanted to experiment with it to make it more like a chip where it's thin and crisp once it's freeze dried. This is my personal leftover sweet potato, so it's just gonna be for me and the boys. I'm gonna see if I can flatten it with my experiment. Just gonna get it started. This is difficult to do with a camera in front of me. Maybe I need a GoPro or something. Anyway, just want to make it super thin. Let's see how thin that is. Oh, that's going to be nice. I don't know if you can see how thick that is. That's a good size. So this ought to be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and you can see where there's some big chunks of potato. And that's the cinnamon sugar that's making it a little darker. So I will go ahead and keep that folded up. I'll put that in the freezer on a flat surface so it is thin and pliable, a little bit pliable. Let's take a giant pepperoni. So the stuff that I'm freeze drying is frozen, so I'm getting my frozen gloves on because I'm going to go out to the freezer and grab it. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get the freeze dryer started. If you're interested in buying a freeze dryer, you probably should go ahead and get it right now while they're on sale. So I have a link in my description below where you can get the freeze dryer on sale. Anytime I push start on the freeze dryer, go ahead and turn the valve off. Actually got some work to do. These are the Baby Bites and my hands are clean. This won't be as cold because the silicone's not very cold, but I do need to dump these out. Oh my goodness, there's little liquid pieces frozen to the bottom there, but I do need to dump these out. These are the Baby Bites and I need to go ahead and break them up a little bit, and I did not realize I didn't do this part already, so I'm a little bit behind and I might have to put this one back in the freezer while I make the other ones. But these are so awesome. I'm gonna get some more of these molds as well. I've got these smaller ones, and then I want to get some medium-sized one where you do like 1 to 2 servings worth. So like a soap mold. I don't have any plain square soap molds. I do make my own soap, but they're not square and plain. They're like decorative and cute, like little bugs and stuff. So I'll have to do a video of me making soap too, just so you can see that prepping skill. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn all these up so it won't make the pretty side gross. And I'm gonna do this as quickly as possible. And you can do this with the gloves on, but I'm not touching the frozen stuff for all that long, so I'm not really that concerned about it. I also have this section here, which is just a solid smoothie. I just poured that in there because I wanted to freeze it quickly, and I'm kind of doing an experiment too because I've not made one big old chunk like that before. I did something similar, but I don't remember what the product was. It wasn't a smoothie, but I do remember doing that. It turned out okay. Oh, it was yogurt. I poured yogurt out like that. So I'm going to see if the same works true for the smoothie. I'm concerned it might be a little more liquidy. But anyway, my hands are gross, so I won't be able to put my clothes back on. I'm going to go put these back in the freezer. Now I need to go ahead and get the other stuff loaded for the spaghetti and the beef stroganoff loaded. If they fall a little bit, it's not the end of the world. Leave that shut. This is our spaghetti. And you know what? I always forget to measure it. I am going to measure it this time. This is our beef stroganoff. Ooh. We always have tons of that. Try to mix in quite a bit of pasta, and the carbs are really important whenever you're expending a lot of energy. If you're having to eat these meals out of an emergency, you really don't want to be stuck not having enough carbs to burn for your energy. All right, so today marks a new day. It's the first time I have remembered to weigh my product before I freeze dry it. Let's go ahead and see what we have. This scale doesn't go up that high. So this is the cycle that I'm going to do the experimental thin piece of frozen sweet potato. Some of it has a little bit of cinnamon, but when I smashed it down, there's still some raw pieces of sweet potato in there that don't have any flavoring or seasoning. So this one is the purple smoothie, and they're Baby Bites, Smoothie Bites. And then I have my flattened sweet potato. I'm calling out my sweet potato chip. It's like super flat. And then I'm also making a flat one for the smoothie. So we're putting all that on that one. That is tray number 4. And then you saw part of tray number 2. I went ahead and put some of the other smoothie on there and filled it all the way. These are the strawberry and sugar, so basically the strawberry syrup. And these are the Smoothie Bites, and then this is some more spaghetti. So that's tray number 3, and you already saw the other 2. Beef stroganoff spaghetti. put the pillow in. I know there's some controversy on the pillow, but I do still use the pillow. I've heard of people having their glass doors fragmented and break. So I am going to continue, like after they stopped using the pillow. So I'm going to continue to use the pillow. I've got it. Why not? And if I were to get another one, I'd probably also still order the pillow. I'm going to go check to make sure the oil is tipped off. And it's not. That is all that needed to top it off. For last run, I always double check everything. So valve is closed. It's locked, pillow in. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way because we need a lot of airflow through here. All right, I'm setting it up with my fan. I always like to have a dip here. This is my vacuum pump, and I put it in front of the fan, and then also it's to take the air from the hot machine to here, because this room gets really, really hot in the summertime, and we're about in summertime weather. So I started the cycle on Saturday evening, and then it ran until Sunday evening. So that's about 24 hours, but it was so late in the evening, like I was about to go to bed. So I went ahead and added about 12 hours, and then I canceled it. I think we still had like 3 hours left or something. It actually ran for a lot longer than it needed to, but we're gonna go ahead and put it away because I wanted to put them inside the Mylar bags. These are my long-term storage since we made extra of these complete meals. I've got my 10 Harvest Right bags. These are the thicker mill. These are gonna be good for the 20 to 30 years. Always write on the package before you put the food in it. This one is super light. We got spaghetti, and it is pulled away from the edges. The tray is warm. And it's completely dry. I don't know if you can hear that crunch. I don't know what that'll taste like, but it's super crunchy. It's actually pretty good. Reminds me of those Asian noodles you get at the store or at restaurants. The fried crispy noodles. Ouch. Oh man. See what a mess this is making all over the place? It's because the noodles are intertwined. My kids love our homemade spaghetti, so this is kind of going to be a comfort food in case we fall on hard times, or heck, even if you don't believe that anything bad will happen. I mean, you could lose your job at any time and need to have your emergency food supply, or like think about if your kids go off to college and you want to have them a homemade meal, but you don't want them to have to cook all the time. You could like give them these food pouches that you freeze dried. How cool would that be to have a homemade meal? You know? All right. So this again is the same thing. It's pulled away from the edges there. Just super dry and crunchy. These are a little bit easier to do because the noodles are already small and separated. Ooh, these are the ones I'm excited about. We got our Smoothie Bites and our strawberry fruit topping from our waffles. I'm gonna go ahead and try one of these. These are the Smoothie Bites. They've got blueberry, strawberry, vanilla yogurt. So let's see what it tastes like. That was super sweet. Oh, it's too sweet. No wonder the kids like them. Oh, that was too sweet. Okay, next up is strawberry fruit topping for our waffles. That one actually tastes good. That one tastes like a strawberry popsicle. It's got strawberry chunks in it, so it's good. So I like this spatula because you can see I can bend it all the way down and get straight under them, so I'm not breaking them as much, and it's super sharp on the end. It fits inside of these jars really well. I'm trying to show you, but I also have to hold my hand here. We'll just do it this way. There we go. See? Man, my kids are gonna love this. Too sweet for me, but ooh. And like really, it's just a smoothie and fruit. Now the strawberry ones do have a little bit of sugar in them because they are a syrup for the waffles. But that's okay because most of it is strawberry. I even have some whole strawberry chunks in there. All right, so that's it for the baby bites for now. I'll have to clean that off and suction that up later. Look at that, it's a whole chunk. Spaghetti and sauce. Boop. All right, one down. 3 trays down, and here is the 4th and final tray. This one I'm so excited about. We're gonna try the new sweet potato chip. I have not had this before. I've not made it before. This is also our Smoothie Bites all tied into one. You can see it's got crackling on the top from being frozen. It's not focusing, but this one looks like it actually has a little bit of ice crystals on it, but it's not. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe sugar or something, but oh my goodness, look at the design on this one. Look at that. It's got that round pattern. I'm not sure how that even happens. I wonder, well, it wouldn't make any sense if there's water frozen on there. If you guys know why it's doing that, let me know, because that's pretty cool. My other tray didn't have that. It looks like these are just, you can see the tops of them. It almost looks like there's ice on the top of it, but it's not. These are completely dry. But you can see like different areas have different stuff on them. That's interesting. All right, here's the one I'm super excited about. This one is the sweet potato chip. The discolored parts, the darker parts, is because I put cinnamon on part of it, and then I smashed it with the roller, and so you're seeing some pure, this is pure sweet potato, because it was a chunk, and I just rolled it out, and then these darker pieces are cinnamon. So that's cool. Let's see what this tastes like. Oh my goodness, it's brittle like a chip. It feels crunchy. It breaks so easily. Did you hear the crunch? Oh, those are so good. They melt pretty fast in your mouth though. I'm gonna set these aside. I'm gonna have those for breakfast. Okay. Let's see if the kids will eat these. If they don't, I will. Oh, those are delicious. I will definitely be making more of those. Oh man, oh, what a mess. Okay, so it's not a good idea to freeze these as one sheet. This is a smoothie that I just poured in here because it had extra. So it's not a good idea to put these in as one sheet because they will break apart. They're super brittle. So don't do that. Put them into molds. That's kind of thick though. I might put a couple of these in here, like the thicker pieces. So I've got spaghetti sauce. Wiping down the inside. Some people use vinegar to wipe down the inside of their bags. I'm too paranoid that it's going to leave moisture in there, so I don't do that. Go ahead and buy through my link below if you find any of this information helpful or useful to you. It does not cost you anything extra. The companies just give me a little bit of commission on items that are sold. So this part always makes me nervous whenever I open up the oxygen absorbers because I want to make sure that I get everything done in time before the oxygen absorbers turn this dark color. This means they're still good. So you can see the difference before. These are good. This one is bad. So this one I've already used and I just left it out. So this one is still good. I have a link in the description for these oxygen absorbers. And then I also have a link in the description for the Harvest Right freeze dryer bags. It makes it real easy to find out exactly what's in them here. So now I'm just gonna flatten it out and put it here and try not to get, there's a little pull tab on it. And try not to get past the pull tab because I want to be able to open it easily. Somebody said in my last video that you don't need to push as hard. I don't know, I feel like I just pushed really hard naturally. So I went ahead and sealed all of these bags. I did a double seal on the bottom and the top. If there's a wrinkle in it, it's not going to seal very well, and I always do the double seal anyway, and one of them did have a wrinkle, so I'm really glad that I did. I'm trying to avoid this little tab here. I'm trying to do it, I don't know if you can see that tab. I'm trying to put the seal above the tab just so that we can open them easily. It's a lot easier to read the permanent marker that's on these than it is to read on the silver bags, the silver Mylar bags. So these are awesome, super thick.